Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our virtual launch, and we thank you for the opportunity to showcase our exciting ERP solution that is purpose-fit for you. My name is Tanya Modena, and I will be your host for today. Before we move on, I would like to just touch on a couple of housekeeping items. We have muted your mics. There will be an opportunity to raise questions in the chat box throughout the presentation. I will, at intermittent intervals, read out the question to my panel of experts who will then respond. Please remember to ensure you have connected with us on LinkedIn and Facebook to qualify for our prize draws. Today, we have really strived to provide you with information that highlights the benefits and business-oriented benefits of our offering. And therefore, you needn't worry that it may be a demo. This is exactly not that, with purpose. You will see why we focus on the outcomes in a bit as we progress through our presentation, which touches on our approach and philosophy and our critical success factors. In that spirit, this is the agenda, and I will now move on to introducing my panel of experts. Before I do so, though, I would just like to give you a high-level overview in a nutshell of EPICOR solutions before we draw into the details.
In today's market, business strategy and technology strategy are closely related. Technology alone can shape the culture and competitiveness of a company. Many businesses struggle to grow because they are hindered by old systems and processes that no longer meet the needs of their employees, partners, or customers. EPICOR Enterprise Resource Planning software is easy to use and designed for today's manufacturers to position themselves for profitability and productivity. With real-time visibility into all areas of your business, from the shop floor to the top floor, you can resolve issues faster and spot previously hidden opportunities. By connecting every aspect of your business, EPICOR ERP offers organizations the essential tools needed to create and maintain a single version of the truth. EPICOR ERP can help you plan production runs, balance and distribute work, collaborate with suppliers, and respond to shifting demand. It enables leaders to make solid, fact-based, actionable decisions thanks to robust built-in analytics. EPICOR ERP also helps manufacturers simplify complex challenges of expanding their footprint and gaining market share because it is built on a technology platform designed to support your business as it grows and changes. With a deep understanding of the manufacturing industry, EPICOR spurs growth while managing complexity. The result is a powerful solution that frees your resources so you can grow your business. To learn more about how EPICOR ERP can help your manufacturing business grow, check out epicor.com.
OneSolve and EPICOR. We have a vast array of industry specialists on our teams respectively and collectively, which strive for innovation and working with customers who strive toward transformation and constant evolution with absolute control of the future with agility. We achieve this through collaboration of our specialists who have an excess of 20 years of experience with business systems and integration. These same specialists are passionate about manufacturing, but more importantly, passionate about changing the world in ways that empower businesses and individuals to perform and deliver at their best. We pride ourselves in a number of successful projects with global organizations and continue to strive toward being the preferred partner to our customers and growing with them. While, as two organizations who have decades of operational success behind them, EPICOR and OneSolve have comprehensive teams in the background that help us run our engine, so to speak. We have some of these team members on the call with us today. These four experts specifically will be sharing information with you. Starting with Gareth Martinez, who's the Technical Director of OneSolve. He boasts 21 years experience in business systems and manufacturing industry, and he's passionate about innovation, staying ahead of the curve. We then have Johanny Marais, who's the Regional Manager for EPICOR, who boasts 15 years of experience in ERP systems and focuses on sales and marketing around the EPICOR brand. We have myself, 11 years experience in business systems within the manufacturing industry, and I'm incredibly passionate about helping customers succeed at innovation and transformation. We also have Sridhar Rajagopal, solutions engineer principal of EPICOR with 8 years experience in ERP systems, and his passion is technology and customer centricity of the EPICOR solution. Just to provide you some insight into our approach at OneSolve, we leverage an outcome-based approach which focuses on critical business outcomes, quite simply classified into the 3 Ps, which apply to all organizations that strive toward transformation, evolution, and growth. Those being proficiency, productivity, and profitability. We work with customers to ascertain their objectives in these 3 Ps through comprehensive tactics that help us understand strategy expectations, people, and processes within the organization, both current and future alike, and the technology required to achieve the business outcomes. Any company in the world can buy the most amazing technology that exists, but without the fundamentals of success being leadership, strategy, processes, people, skills, and collaboration, success is not achieved. This example illustrates a very good example of our philosophy, and this alone speaks to the following. No matter what industry you are in, fundamentals of success factors are critical. No matter what brand you are, fundamentals of success factors are critical. No person or individual can achieve this alone. Teamwork is required. From the driver to the crew in the pit, to the finance team, to the HR team, to health and safety, etc. We at OneSolve firmly believe that our most successful projects are as a direct result of these critical success factors that we apply within our implementation and rollout of technology solutions when we partner with our customers. OneSolve has an array of successful projects in our years of successful implementations with customers. This latest success, however, speaks to our ability to assist customers during one of the most historic, economic, challenging climates, and remotely no less. We are a team that focuses on being agile ourselves, and in turn working with customers to achieve their objectives with smooth transition despite the circumstances. It is, however, very important to note that a big contributing factor to the success of this project outside of our own agility as a team under COVID circumstances was the philosophy that I spoke about earlier. I now welcome Johanni Marais, our Regional Manager of EPICOR. Over to you, Johanni.
Hi, good day, everyone. Allow me a minute while I get to share my screen. Please tell me when you can see my screen. I'm not...
We can see your screen.
Perfect.
There we go.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Tanya, for the great introduction. As Tanya said, my name is Johanni Marais. I've been with EPICOR now for 8 years, running channel and basically looking after the customers and our partners in the African region. And today, I would just like to give you a bit of an overview of who EPICOR is and where we come from. So I'll just dive right in. EPICOR was established around 1974 and has grown and has been acquired and sold and reacquired by various companies over the last almost 50 years. We currently have just over 20,000 maintenance paying customers, over 4,000 employees, and we're based in 150 countries globally. Established in the US, we have grown globally with a strong presence in international as well, and international is everything outside of the US, so Africa, Europe, APAC, and so forth. And currently we're just shy of $1 billion revenue annually. I want to share with you just what our values are, because I think that's important. When customers or prospective customers go through an evaluation process of ERP, everything seems to, eventually by day 3 look the same in terms of the software and the technology. So what is very important to us is that we build lifelong partnerships with our customers. We have to have customers that have been with us for over 25 years. And as their business grow, just, upgrade and migrate to later platforms that better suit their needs. So for us, teamwork between us internally, our partners, as well as our customers is key. Your success is our success. We believe in excellence, so always making things better, always improving where improvement is needed. We have a customer first philosophy, meaning that our solutions provide for your requirements as you need them. We obviously advise on best practices and good corporate governance. We are so passionate about what we do. We love innovation, as you will see throughout the presentation today. And what is very important to us is integrity. And one of the things that I do have to mention here is that if we come across a prospect and upon further investigation, we realize that we are not the best fit, we will gracefully bow out. As I continue talking, you will see that EPICOR is a very, very focused company in terms of the markets that we serve. Just a quick overview so you can have an idea of whereabouts our offices are. In Africa, we have a partner-only strategy. So EPICOR as the vendor is very much involved with our partners in the sale, but we channel all our customers and support through our partners. As I mentioned on the previous slide, we are very much industry focused. We strive to be the best provider for the industries that we serve. So we are not trying to be a jack of all trades. So having said that, the market segments that we cover is quite broad. And as you can see, for the manufacturing space, there is a vast number of industries that we do cover. Fabricated metals and semi-fabricated metals distribution is a market that we're currently also very strong in. Electronics distribution and manufacturing, packaging, and food and beverage, especially in this region with our advanced manufacturing execution system, which Sridhar will tell us a little bit more about, and retail and services as well. This is just to show you some of our customers. Some of these logos are hopefully familiar to some of you. As I said, broad range of customers, but very much focused in what we do and what we supply our customers with. So why EPICOR? So on top of everything else that I've already said, EPICOR's flagship product is, and some of our other products as well, is extremely flexible in how we deploy that to our customers. As I mentioned, we always advise on best practices and good corporate governance. But the system is flexible in that you can personalize it for each user without touching the source code, which just obviously makes your upgrades and migration paths so much smoother. You will never see EPICOR advertised on a billboard or probably, on an advertising board in an airport. So, we don't do a lot of that like some of our competitors, but we do continue to invest profits into the technical innovation of the system. We have deep industry knowledge, and as I said, this is part of the focus that EPICOR has. So we've built up very deep industry knowledge in the verticals that we serve, and we are customer obsessed. So for us, customer is key and customer is first. So just to summarize a little bit of what I've just said, EPICOR provides very industry-specific, vertically focused, and highly intuitive solutions. It must be very friendly for the end user so that user adoption is so much smoother. We provide end-to-end functionality. Obviously, why do we collect all this data? So that you can manage your business better and you can do better planning. EPICOR is a 100% software as a service-based product, which is also 100% built on the Microsoft stack. Again, flexible deployment. So you have the choice of deployment. You can either deploy it in the cloud or on premises, outright purchase or subscription. Support for the virtual enterprise. So multi-site, multi-plant, multi-company, multi-geographical countries. And as I mentioned just now, personalization by user. So that when a user looks at his specific screen, he's comfortable with what he's seeing, and he only sees what he needs to see. The purpose of all this is to ensure that employees within the company can collaborate effectively to ensure best service back to your customers in turn. And lastly, EPICOR has a lot of insights, dashboards built into it. The new intuitive connected interface is all built around that. It has a global footprint with a very low total cost of ownership. So after today, if anybody's interested in talking to us further, when we come and talk to you, we'll give you more detail about all of that, because that's very important. When selecting an ERP system, you must look at the long-term life cycle cost of the system that you've procured as well. Just a few accolades. In fact, EPICOR was, again, last year, and I think about since 2013 or 2014, year on year, recognized by Gartner as the most visionary software in the market that we serve. So as our CEO, Steve Murphy, says, to quote him, our mission is to be the cloud vendor of choice in the markets that we serve. We believe that being positioned as a visionary in the Magic Quadrant validates our strategy, and we feel that customers trust us to deliver solutions that can help them grow. Another accolade, also again by Gartner. So Gartner is a platform that validates and rates various softwares. ERP is one of them, and they have many different categories. So they've ranked us highest in the critical capabilities for cloud ERP for product-centric mid-sized enterprises. So I think that is quite a good accolade for us. If you look at the rest of the contenders on the list, that is quite an accolade. So why cloud? And again, I must just reiterate that with EPICOR, you're not forced into one specific option of deployment. You still have the choice. But with various companies doing surveys and resources, one of the companies that have also, taken EPICOR into review and all the others is a company called Aberdeen Group. And they did a survey a couple of years ago already. And from that, learned that 32% of best-in-class companies have been able to reduce the need for capital budget by hosting in a public cloud. And 35% of organizations moved to the cloud because they saw greater value in the subscription model. Because obviously, in terms of the software cost, you don't have that capital outlay, and then again the annual fees for maintaining that and having support. And 57% of IT departments that have deployed SaaS applications have reported a reduction in application-related expenses. So cloud makes things financially and as well as security-wise and productivity-wise. We'll look into that a little bit later. I just want to wrap up quickly and say that because EPICOR is a global company, we have approximately 1,000 consultants worldwide employed by EPICOR directly. That also supports our partners, and more than 400 partners that are very industry, product, and technology focused and certified. They all employ best practice implementation methodologies and undergo extensive education and training from EPICOR ourselves. And this can be in various forms. So just quickly, also, if you do sign up as an EPICOR partner, customer, there are many resources available to you to become familiar with the software. The one thing that I do just want to quickly pause on is under the self-paced learning, the embedded courses. So embedded courses is licensed with the software. So once you've licensed the software models that you need, and this is deployed either on premises or in the cloud, you'll have access to the embedded courses module, which is part and parcel of the package. You can go through and those courses at any time. And what you will see is that you will have access to training for modules that you might not have licensed yet even. So if, for example, on day one, you have not necessarily licensed project management, but you would like to see exactly what this does and do some tests and see if this will work for your organization, you will have access to that through the embedded courses. And that will help you to make a better informed decision as to why, when, and how your company is ready to add functionality. So growth with EPICOR, just to summarize, EPICOR is a trusted vendor with many years of industry-specific functionality expertise. We pride ourselves on always being on the cutting edge of technology. We have strong professional services and customer support, low cost of ownership, and as we will demonstrate in further communication, a very quick return on investment. Thank you very much for your time, and I will now pass over to Gareth.
Thanks, Shani. So thank you for everyone for joining us. I wanted to start with why we believe we can help manufacturing. We believe we have tools and lessons to help companies become greater. Every person in a company may have different requirements and different priorities. However, every person should always have the same goal. If we look at most manufacturers, each of them have people aiming to work in harmony to get the products out the door. We have designers and engineers that help with estimates for quotes. Those estimates have to then be passed over for someone to purchase in the procurement stage. In some cases, some customers may need to have some of their items produced on the shop floor or in the workshop. But then those items need to be dispatched through the distribution chain, and other people need to have information about who has made the sales and who to. And some customers may even need to understand what items are out in the field that may need to be serviced at a later date. We believe we can make a difference by understanding these customers and their requirements. We have business-to-business requirements as well as business-to-consumer requirements. Our unique value is we focus our energy on fabrication and manufacturing. We have some manufacturers who are comfortable and happy doing what they were doing 10, 20 years ago, maybe even 50 years ago. How do you think those people are dealing today? We believe that winning and supporting government in projects like the National Development Plan or even an automotive master plan for 2035 can only be done by adapting to changes. Despite numerous hurdles, these are great goals to aim for. It gives us security, confidence, and builds a better future for us all. So those manufacturers who started early are more likely to survive, but the reality is some haven't. We all had plans pre-2020, as we believe most companies had. We might have had to have slight adjustments, but in our case, to be honest, our digital transformation of companies is still the same. All COVID did was kick everyone in the stomach. Most companies were forced to decentralize staff, their production, and even had to let some of their office space go. That was once busy with people is either now empty or with very little interaction. Yet all companies still need access to accurate information. Those who adapt are most likely to win. Those who do not adapt are most likely to close. Which companies do you have and do you work for? This will bring me to the reliable technology that can deliver that critical information to those who need it. Our ecosystem is built on strong and robust Microsoft front and back-end technology that helps reduce system complexity. This allows us to help you focus on building our unique value and make you stronger and able to compete. All companies have some degree of these business functions. These business function strengths depend on their priorities and their forward-looking models and structures. I'm going to touch on some of these items and disciplines that we cater for and briefly explain some of the aspects that we believe we can help with. First is a centralized location to store and manage company mission-critical information. We offer an office-based installation or access from the cloud. We offer support to personnel development with human capital tools, tracking and building employee confidence as they progress in their careers. We offer tools to help production teams streamline what needs to be made and when it needs to be ready by. We can help buyers and estimators understand inventory levels and build better communication between suppliers and internal teams with supply chain. We also have the ability to describe the workload on the shop floor with our scheduling and planning module, even if the production manager isn't near the facility. We have strong accounting best practices and knowledge. We have the ability to manage contacts and measure success in accounts. We offer support to sales managers through the sales lifecycle. And again, some of these functions are more important to others and may need and have different priorities for them. We need some of these elements to be able to operate effective and profitable businesses. All companies need access to accurate information about how their cash or budgets are spent. Some need better budget control, others may need better multi-currency support, and other companies may even need better visibility of intercompany transactions. The accounting applications are built for insight, automation, compliance in an increasingly global business world. Here is a snapshot of the purchase order entry system. It's clean, easy to understand, and easy to use, making it easy to train. Building standing operating procedures for employees and colleagues fast-track synergy between departments. All orders come from either a prospect or an existing customer. The customer relationship module gives all stakeholders visibility of the supply requirements and allows better contact verification and onboarding. CRM can control every aspect of a company's interaction with its customers, prospects, including generating leads, developing opportunities, taking the orders, dealing with shipping, and supporting the customer. All manufacturers can only be successful if they sell what they make. Sales management helps manage deals and the sales pipeline. We can help automate and improve labor-intensive processes for quoting, proposal generation, configuration, and order entry. Whether you manufacture complex gas turbines or simple products like a scissor lift, from quotes to order, we need a production plan. One of our core focus areas for getting fabrication and manufacturing back to full production is our truly effective production modules, supporting fabrication of variable engineer to order builds or mass production of parts to supply stock levels of the dealer network. Here is a view of an example for the work orders, and this gives us details of either the fabrication process, the job number, some information about the start and end dates, and even tracked outsource operations like powder coating or painting that may be an external function. Mastering the art of predicting and responding quickly to changes is a great business advantage. Planning is going to be covered a little bit more in detail by Sridhar on the next section, but I do want to mention that the new scheduling Gantt board is extremely useful in giving feedback about what's happening on the shop floor and allow us to make quick changes in customer demand. Here we can see the job scheduling board, and it gives us a Gantt chart of what's happening on the shop floor. Every and most fabrication and assembly jobs require outside parts. These parts need to be available to the design and the estimators, and this process is facilitated by the supply chain. Here is a view of the inventory list, including some information about whether items are either purchased or engineering, what the quantity levels are. We can even change things like how do we filter it and isolate information about certain parts or jobs. The next module I'd like to talk about is the internet-facing module. This is of great interest for customers that are trying to be able to create some sort of portal front end for their manufacturing business and also need to be able to connect to their back end for invoicing and orders. It's a template-based module, and it makes it very easy to deploy and integrated with the rest of the core systems. Our story is very simple. We are very focused on building better manufacturing. We do this with lessons learned, reinforced with continuous improvement and discipline and flexibility. I'm going to finish off with an example of a customer who wanted to build a business and that needed something for an uncertain future. They turned to EPICOR and found what they needed, and there are plenty more to talk about. That concludes my overview. I hope you believe that, as we believe, that we can help build better manufacturing. Me and my team look forward to talking to you in the future, and I'm now going to hand over to Sridhar to look at inventory, scheduling, and quality.
Thank you, Gareth. While Sridhar is busy getting his side of the slide ready, I just want to remind all the attendees, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A box. It is available, and our panelists will answer as we progress through this event. Thank you. Over to you, Sridhar.
Thank you so much. You can all hear me clearly?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Gareth, for that introduction. And I will pick up from where Gareth had left, get a bit deep into key areas related to manufacturing. So there are three areas which I want to talk about today. One is the backbone of manufacturing, in fact, our ERP itself, which is the EPICOR inventory, and a bit detailed into scheduling. What is scheduling? What are the different methods of scheduling within EPICOR? And a quick look at EPICOR quality control. So the key is the EPICOR inventory. A quick definition in terms of what is inventory. Inventory masters and the planning tools that forms the backbone of the supply chain, which is a very important or the key component. This drives the business so that it is smoother and delivers whatever the organization requires, importantly, the profitability. Just a couple of areas related to inventory and how does these areas within the inventory master relates into different industries. Let us look at a very, very brief view of that. Whether you are into a production company or whether you are in buying and stocking and selling a distribution company, EPICOR Inventory supports both of that. Very key element is planning, whether you're planning for your stock or whether you're planning for your production or looking at your resources. So the planning is very, very critical and the inventory supports that. So we are going to look at planning and scheduling in detail in the following slides in a moment from now. Controlling in terms of lot serial expiry, whether you are in automotive business, whether you are in electronics business, the serial number control becomes very, very important and EPICOR supports that. And in terms of expiry, so if you are in food manufacturing, where expiry food control is very, very important, especially in the perishable part, EPICOR works proactively in terms of telling you when the items are going to expire so that you can have better control of your inventory and look at those items and control them very well in terms of the perishable nature. The other important aspect in terms of alternative superstitions, again, is in terms of your automotive industry, where the design and the model keeps changing year on year. And hence it's important so that you are able to relate the items in your inventory master to the old one and the new one and look at the alternatives and suggest and look at the current one instead of going around with that system, which comes as a standard within the application itself. And the other important area related to multi-unit of measure, UAM stands for unit of measure. It's a dimensional inventory. If you are in fabricated metal, if you are in wood, it is not just enough if I say that I have 10 pieces of steel sheets in my inventory. It's so important. I also say that I have 10 sheets, but it is also this length, this width, this gauge of steel, this thickness, and hence so many kilograms of that, which means I'm talking about dual unit of measure, one in the number of pieces as well as in the kilograms or ton, which is again standard as part of the application. Anyhow, I'll stop here. This is some of the specifications and things like that which EPICOR supports as part of the process. But let us just move on specifically into the other areas which we wanted to discuss today, into EPICOR scheduling. A quick definition of what is scheduling is about. So again, coming back, a simple definition of what is scheduling is again customer demand and how well we are able to react to the customer demand, and in terms of how responsive is without interrupting our process. Simply breaking down our scheduling process into 4 steps, just where, of course, it goes into much more complex, but to define them in completely simple ways. What are all the tasks which are to be completed or activities to be completed? I'm going to talk about an example of the tasks in a moment from now. It is not just we speak about the task, but I need the order in which the task is to be completed. What is to be done first, what is to be done second, and so on and so forth. The third important aspect is that tasks and how much time it takes to complete each of the tasks, and hence arrive at what is the projected completion time of the total activity of that. That's all. These are the 4 or 5 components is what EPICOR does in terms of scheduling very, very effectively. Let's go a bit into scheduling now. So what we're talking about is, one is when we define how much we can deliver from our factory. That is first thing, is that I need to know what is my capacity, how much I can do, how much I can manufacture, how much I can deliver. Couple of things which is there. One is my calendar, which means, do I work 3 shifts? Does my factory work 1 shift? Do I work on holidays? So this is my calendar. The other is in terms of my machines and my resources. Do they come in the morning and leave in the afternoon? Do they work from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock? And what are their capabilities? What are their skills? What are they certified? Is from a resource point of view. The other is very important is scheduling block. I'm going to talk about that in a moment from now. Scheduling block refers to is that how can I speed up my processes by deploying more machines and more resources to the process. I'll stop the definition there. I'll explain that when we come to that. So all this constitutes my capacity. And then when I'm talking about the load, how much is the production time for the job? And of course, another key component is the setup time. So which means that either I'm changing a tool in the machine, or if I have to change the coolant, or if I have to change the setup, if I have to change the die or the mold, if I'm in extrusion industry, all that takes some time. So which means I need to account for the setup or the changeover time. So it is all taken, and then we arrive at the scheduling within the system itself. So just breaking down what I mentioned about the resources is that simple example, if I'm talking about steel cutting machine within my factory, I can have multiple resources, a group of machines, which is called the steel cutting machines, broken down into multiple machines, CNC, 1, 2, and 3. So I could have 3 resources, I can have 4 machines, 5 machines under that. What is important is that when I'm manufacturing, whether I'm going to use 1 machine per job, or 2 machines per job, or 3 machines per job, in that case, what is the result if I use 1 or 2 or 3? We'll see that in a moment. But anyway, from a setup point of view, you could have multiple machines also defined. And within that machine, I can say whether it is a 5-axis machine or a 3-axis machine, the capabilities of this machine. So if you're talking about an extrusion, whether it is in 1 ton or it is a 2 ton or a 5 ton extruder in terms of what it can do, or if you're talking about speed of the machine, at what speeds, whether it is in terms of your cable or if you're rolling and things like that. So different capabilities of these machines can be talked about. What is the capability? Again, that also defines the schedule. That's about the definition of these machines. And what Gareth was talking about in terms of the resource scheduling board and production scheduling board or the Gantt chart, so important reporting tool, which comes up automatically based on the schedule for the shop floor manager or the factory manager who is responsible to look at the scheduling, where he will be able to look at all the machines, all the jobs, look at the view in terms of my calendar, what is the load for the day, what is the load for the month, what is the load for the week. I can go down by the hour, I can look at my load, what machines will be loaded. So I can look at this, the load onto my shop floor. And if I want, I can rearrange, change the plans depending upon the need. Like what you are saying, that suppose I get a new order, urgent order from a very important customer, then I need to rearrange my priorities, rearrange my production. Accordingly, I'll be able to deliver that particular customer. When I'm delivering that key customer's order, certain orders will be disrupted. So there should be a mechanism in terms we calculate and report back to the customers whose orders will be delayed and things like that. All that can be done through the scheduling board. I'll stop here. Just look at some of the scheduling methods within the system very simply. I've just taken a simple example of a production job. As I said, the tasks which is to be completed. If I have to do a steel door, then I have to take a piece of steel, cut that into pieces. If it requires, I need to bend them, put them together by welding those pieces together, paint it, pack it, and supply this. So these are the 4 simple steps of steel fabrication. If I take that, how do I scheduling? EPICOR allows 2 methods of scheduling. What you see here is the backward scheduling. What is backward scheduling? If my delivery date to the customer is far in the future, if I have to deliver within by 20th of February or 31st of March, why would I finish it from today? I will start planning from the delivery date, which means I am doing a backward scheduling. So hence I know this is the date when I actually have to start my work so that I'll be able to deliver it comfortably. Suppose the date is nearby, then I'll call it as a forward scheduling, which means I need to start it today and then go on and then finish it so that I have enough time to deliver it to the customer on the date which is committed to this particular customer. This is the ideal world. If I'm able to deliver it like this, fantastic. If all of my jobs are done like this well in time, probably many times I wouldn't even require a system. What is happening in real world is that many times I end up and then overshoot delivery time because of various reasons. I got multiple machines, I got different jobs which is there, hence I overshoot that as a standard schedule. Is there a way I can address this? Is there a way I can bring this forward so that I can still be able to deliver it to the customer on the date agreed? There are multiple things which you can do within EPICOR. So first is, if I, as a standard cutting, I put only one CNC machine. What if I do a what if planning with the system? It allows me, instead of using one machine, if I put two machines for the job, will I be able to deliver it on the date? It is, but still I have some issues because after the job is completed, I have some more work, packing and shipping and so on and so forth, which means I don't have the enough cushion. So what if instead of two machines, if I throw three machines? So my scheduling blocks are not just 1 and 2 and 3, and then here, which means that, okay, this is fine and comfortable, I'll be able to deliver it. So I can look at these various scenarios within the system. Look at what a production manager would love is to have a what if scenario, couple of scenarios, compare, and then finally come to that. The other aspect of that is, let's take two activities, cutting and bending and things like that. Typically in shop floor, what happens is that either I have to complete, let us assume that this is operation 1, this is activity number 2. Either I'm waiting till this activity is completely complete, then I start the next one. Sometimes it happens that there are parallel activities, so I can start them together on that. But the ideal scenario is that I don't wait till the completion. I start as and when a part of the activity which is completed, I can start the next operation, which means my factory will be running at a much efficient time. I need not wait till this particular job is completed, things like that. Now, again, these are scenarios which is there within EPICOR. So whether you're using multiple machines or whether you're using a parallel or an overlap in terms of your production and things like that, it is available in the system. Look at multiple scenarios, come up what if, and then you can schedule and look at your best possible scheduling and things. The other one is finite and infinite scheduling. I'll go through this example very, very quickly, which means that when I'm doing forward planning, the next month planning, I just want to roughly see rough cut planning, they call it, in terms of whether I have enough resources, enough material. I don't mind exceeding the number of hours. The daily load is about 7.5 hours on the machine, but I don't mind because I'm planning into the future just to get an idea. If I need a resource, will I be shortage and things like that in terms of infinite scheduling. Let us say I'm scheduling for the next week. I have to firm up. I need to tell my salespeople that when it will be delivered. I need to tell my logistics when to receive and expect the finished goods. So I have to be precise or finite. So which means this is to schedule the operations or each of the job exactly within the time. So which means 7.5 hours is the capacity per day. And my activity or the job scheduling should not exceed 7.5 hours per day. EPICOR does these two as a standard. Depending upon your type of load, you could say either you're doing finite scheduling or an infinite scheduling. Generally in shop floor, you're going to do either short or in terms of long, you can use both of them. Again, both are available as part of the application itself. That's about scheduling. I'll stop here. Of course, in detail, if you want to know more or discuss more, as Gareth was saying, that we can discuss later. Moving on into quality control. Again, a quick definition. What was the percentage, a large percentage of manufacturer, is that one of the key pillars of their success is quality in the eyes of the customers. Very, very important, which most of you would agree on that. So it is other thing is that the standards are changing either based on regulations or the customer standards because the market is offering that. So people are looking for a better, a bigger, easier, simpler, smoother product for that. And how our system is able to keep up with that quality standards. So we enforce stricter quality standards upstream. It is not that we just have the quality check at the final point when the item is about to leave my shop floor, it's not enough, because if I find out, then I have to work all the way back. So which means it's important for better regulations, better output, I move my quality upfront into my upstream within my process. How do I do that? Anyhow, these are all the steps. I leave this at the moment. Now, so to move that, EPICOR has control at inbound, which means at the time of raw material coming in, I could have my verification done. In process, at the time of production, at different stages, which means that I don't wait, as I said, into my finished good, what you call as work in progress. I pick up samples from work in progress, look at the specification, whether the cut was correct, whether the welding was done properly, going back to the example which I narrated. And then if it is not there, I can take a corrective action, again within the system, a corrective action, a simple rework to fix that, so that I don't get to the end door and then realize that I have to scrap that and restart from once again. And then, of course, standard as we have the outbound, it is all there as part of the system. And calibration, I'll come to that. So what does it mean? So inbound is your raw material. Inbound is in terms of production completion. Outbound, your finished goods going out or shipping to the customers, you can do that. In process is that at different stages at your work in progress. So after the cut, you can measure it. After the painting, look at the quality of the painting. Most importantly, after the weld, you can look at non-destructive testing in terms of whether the pores are there, whether it is brittle, things like that. So you could set all the quality parameters and check within the system. If the items is flagged for quality control, the system will automatically, it will work on a push mechanism that after this particular stage, I need to do a quality control, and it doesn't move on to the next stage. It goes into the inspection, verify it. If it is cleared by the quality control inspector, it moves to the next stage. Otherwise, it goes for a rework process, however you're set up. The last thing is in terms of calibration. Now, is it just enough I look at the quality control of my items which I manufacture or the raw materials I buy? It is also important the upkeep of my equipments, which is all there, whether it is a simple vernier caliper or my tool or my lathe or the 5-axis machine. So I need to look at the calibration of all those machines, which also looks at my assets and then equipment can be best so that my output is better. I have less of maintenance or downtime issues so that my machines and tools are kept in order. That can also be set. In terms of calibration, you can set up the frequency in which you do your check and calibrations of your machines. It's all part of the quality control within EPICOR. A simple example screen of what are all types of the trades which you can capture of an inspection. The example which you see on a screen is related to steel, where I can look at my chemical analysis, physical properties, and things like that. So whatever you wanted to capture and so on and so forth is part of my quality control. So that's essentially what I wanted to talk about. And we'll move on from here into questions if you have any.
Thank you, Sridhar. I really appreciate that. Guys, if any of you would like to ask questions, I am going to unmute the attendees, give you all an opportunity. Gareth has also suggested, if you're not comfortable raising questions, you're welcome to contact us directly. But we do have a question in the meantime. Let me just go there. Okay. From Jaco van Staden. Sridhar, I suspect this is for you. Can the quality control inspection document be printed?
Yes, it can be printed. Your COC documents can be printed from the system. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, I have a question from Stan Shaw. Will you be doing a simple demo of the system in action? Sridhar or Gareth, please assist.
Yeah, we can plan and then show you depending upon the industry, and depending upon that we can do a demo which is more relevant to whichever industry you are. The concepts of manufacturing scheduling which I spoke today, I had referred to multiple industries. I spoke about automotive, fabrication, metal devices, pharmaceutical industry. So these are different industries which is generic. So we could probably look at and understand what is your process and make it a specific for industry, so it is relevant to your business and your process.
Thank you, Sridhar. So Stan, just to answer your question, my suggestion is that we engage with you immediately after the event. I'll contact Heather at our Durban branch, and we will set up a demo specifically catered to your business and your industry focus. You know, as he explained, there's many aspects we can cover. A question from Kapil. With all the manufacturing records that are automatically being kept by the system, can an audit be done remotely?
Okay, this is basically yes, a conditional yes. What I mean by conditional yes is that all the data is kept within the system, and it is all available as system log or trace individually which user did what and things like that. So though data is available as part of the process, wherever you are, whichever screen, you will be able to look at to whatever detail which you have enabled the system for each of the transaction. Just an example. So if you want to audit the job, then you could say that who opened the job, when the job was completed, when the when the material was issued, who issued it. Certain basic information can be gathered, or it could be a complete details of by the minute what happened in the job. It's all up to you what you can do within the system. Now, when you say remote, is that how and what this particular information which is to be sent across, assuming the person who is doing the audit remotely does not have access to EPICOR. Now, if you are remote, if you're using a cloud version of EPICOR, then it is straightforward and standard in the system. So you can access the cloud from wherever you are, and you'll be able to look at the audit information. I hope that addresses your question.
Thank you, Sridhar. Any other questions? Okay. Question from Yaku. Can you scan in material data sheet to keep as record with the record?
Yes, you can. When I assume the material data sheets is specifications of the material, EPICOR has got an attachment facility with all the screens. So when you have such a specification, material data sheets, quality sheets, whatever is that, it can be scanned and then attached, a document attached facility within there with the system is available. You can attach it and keep it and view it wherever you want it to do. So it's available throughout the system.
Thank you, Sridhar. As we wait, if in case anyone else wants to ask any more questions, I want to say thank you very much to everybody for attending today's launch with us. We really appreciate it. We will make contact with each of you directly during the next couple of days to contact and see if we can set up private demos for you guys. And then further, we will also be doing our draw on announcing the winners from our draw on Friday. Please keep a lookout on the newsletter. We'll make sure that you each get a copy of the newsletter, and we'll be announcing our winners in this newsletter on Friday. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Gareth. Thank you, Sridhar. Thank you, Johanni. Really appreciate it. And again, thank you to all the customers that are attended. We really value and appreciate your time, and hope you have a lovely day further.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Tanya. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.